Okay, hi everybody. Today we need to talk about when did existence occur? When did this actually take place? That seems like a question we should be able to ask and answer. So this is continuing on ontological mathematics and the theory of everything. And part 1C now we must go to. When did existence occur? All right, so existence. Let us be reminded, existence exists because it is nothing. And nothing is required to be what existence is because only nothing halts infinite regress. It requires no outside agent to create it, therefore halting infinite regress. In fact, you can also look at the whole problem of philosophy, the entire endeavor of philosophy since its inception. The entire thing that philosophers have really been working on is to halt this problem of infinite regress. That is really what all of philosophy reduces to is how you halt the problem of infinite regress. How do you stop appealing to something outside of what currently exists in order to explain existence, right? So just the explanation of, well, God is what exists and it just is, has never been satisfying fully, because you can always just ask, well, what is God and why does God exist and what are the properties of God that always make him exist? And then, so that's a problem of infinite regress because you could just keep on extending that because you say, well, some other force created God, and it's like, well, what force created that force, and so on. So the problem of philosophy has always been the problem of first principles and first causes, and how to explain everything in a self-contained, self-existent manner from the ground up, without simply saying that it's God. You know, we want to understand the properties of basically of what God is in a sense, but more technical than that these days. It's what existence is in and of itself in logical, rational, and even, yes, technological, technical terms, right? Not technological, technical terms, yeah. Okay, so existence is something, even though it's nothing, it becomes something via movement. Remember, in our previous part, as the resolution of the paradox, the logical resolution of the paradox between nothing and something, allowing nothing to exist as something via net nothing through movement. Because remember, if absolute nothing has a property, such as the property of existence, well, then it's no longer nothing, but something. And that's a paradox, yes? So that paradox gets resolved through movement, through the circling, allowing nothing to exist as something. Okay, so that's what existence is and why it exists and why it can exist, why anything exists at all. Okay, so how did existence happen? So this is a question I came across. What was the original impetus to generate the force to create the movement, thus allowing net nothing to be populated with something? Okay, so one thing we must understand here is that the impetus to generate the movement is the resolution of the paradox itself in logic, okay, in mind, of nothing being the only thing which can exist, yet nothing not being able to have such a quality without turning it into something. Movement is then what allows nothing to exist as something, and this movement, this circling, is energy, which is mind, which is mathematics, because that's the only way that it can function rationally is with mathematics, or it just exhibits mathematics naturally. So the resolution of the paradox is movement and is what allows nothing to exist as something. Yes, okay, so we're going to continue and flesh this out a little bit more. So which came first, though? So then the question continues, but wouldn't the universe resolving the paradox of static nothing being unable to exist and movement allowing something to exist within that nothing imply some sort of intention on the part of the universe to resolve the paradox, and therefore some sort of thought process by the universe, and therefore, given that every thought process requires an impetus, just move the impetus from that of movement to that of the thought process which precedes the movement. Okay, so you can see that another problem of infinite regress is coming in here. Yes, it seems like it, but I've already answered it, but let's flesh it out a little bit more. So it's simultaneous identity. Okay, so the resolution of the paradox in movement is thought. That's what thought is. It all happens at the same time together. So thought, when I say thought, I mean ontological mind in the idealist sense, the philosophical idealist sense, as what exists being mind, which is, of course, conveyed through mathematics, conveyed through the base circlings, which are base thoughts. Okay, it is not that thought needs to be, or mind, ontological mind, needs to be pre-existent and then resolve the paradox or create the movement. Thought or mind is the movement. The movement is mind. They're one and the same thing. They occur together. Okay? It's not that one needed to come before the other. They are the simultaneous resolution taken together. Okay? So no intention is required for that. So only the resolution of the paradox in and of itself. Okay? Which has always been the resolution having existed forever and will always exist forever. Okay, this has always been the state of existence. So the resolution of the paradox in the circling and movement is basis thought, is ontological mind. The circling and movement occurs as thought and as mind, as the singularity. Okay, it's all the same thing. This resolution, this logical resolution, the resolution of the paradox between nothing and something in movement, that is what thought is. It all occurs simultaneously together, and it's always been occurring simultaneously together. It's always existed this way. Existence has always existed in this state. This never came into existence at any point. This has been the permanent state of existence, yes? Okay, so that's what we're getting into here. When did existence happen? When did this happen? So this is about the permanent state of being, that which has always existed. Okay? Existence cannot have come into existence into some form at some finite point. As you would say, why would existence come into existence, come into being at that point and not another point? Why not a later point? Why not an earlier point? Why not? Why has it occurred already? You know, those are unanswerable questions. Existence cannot have come into existence. Where would existence have come into existence from if it came into existence at a finite point, right? So existence has always existed. It's permanent. It's always been there. Okay. Now, the universe, a common mistake people make is to identify this universe with existence and the Big Bang as existence. No, the Big Bang and this current universe with the material that we're familiar with, that we're made out of, stars, galaxies, and whatnot, that comes afterwards. And that is a finite thing. And that is definitely something which has come into existence or come into the state of its own being. At a finite point in time, 13.7 billion years ago was the Big Bang. So this universe is quite temporary, but this universe is not synonymous with existence. This universe is something that fundamental base existence of being can create, and we're going to get into that in a future video. I'll show you exactly how it works. It's really great and really fun and really cool. Okay. So this universe is not existence. Existence is something that pre-existed the universe. Okay. For this, yeah. Great, because you can't say that about the universe. The universe just randomly popped into existence out of nothing for no reason. That doesn't make any sense either. The universe has to come from a source, right? So that source is the state of being, this logical state of being, which is infinitely existent, has always existed. Yes. So the permanent state of being is this, which is all simultaneous and identical. So this is all simultaneous and identical. I've already said this. I'll keep on repeating it. The paradox of nothing being what must exist, resolving in net nothing via movement, which is thought, which is ontological mind. I don't mean human thought, of course. I mean ontological mind. In a philosophical idealist sense of thought, ontological mind, ontological thinking of base existence. Okay. So when did this occur? It's actually a permanent event. This event has always been occurring, and it's self-simultaneous. So this has been and will be the eternal and permanent state of existence, all simultaneously occurring together as the exact same single thing, but continuous and ever-present event. Okay, so this resolution of the paradox didn't happen at some point. The resolution of the paradox has always been. Okay, it's an event that happened infinitely long ago. It's an event that's occurring right now as we speak, because we exist in a state of movement right here, and we always are. We're never still. So that event is occurring right now, and that event is occurring infinitely far into the future. That event has always been. Okay, so that's kind of a neat concept. Let's review that. Okay, the event of the resolution of the paradox happened infinitely long ago, but it's also happening right now, and it's happened at any moment since infinitely long ago to right now, and it's happening right now in the current moment, right now, as you're listening to this. The event of the resolution of the paradox is happening right now, and it's going to happen forever. Okay. And that's what sustains the movement and of existence, which existence is. Yes? So it is a permanent event, always occurring, always having had occurred, and always will be occurring. The paradox of nothing being what must exist, resolving in net nothing to be a movement, which is mind, ontological mind. Okay? It's never come into being at some point. It will never go out of being at any point. It is the permanent state of affair, okay, of existence, which has and will sustain existence forever, for it is existence itself. It's what existence is, right? So to presuppose that there was an existence and then this resolution needed to be resolved in this existence to make existence work, that's not how it works, okay? Existence is the resolution of the paradox, okay? It is. The resolution of the paradox is what existence is, and it's always been this way. So the nature of existence. Okay, I keep on saying that. Don't need to repeat that. Okay, well, here's a few phrases. Okay, so you can understand it in this way. These are sort of analogies that I came up with. Okay, so it is the unstable fulcrum, which is tipping over but never falls. Okay, it is the cliff edge falling away into the ocean, but which always stays up. It is the infinitesimal point, the infinitely small point, but which nevertheless is spinning. It is the slicing knife edge, which cuts but never gets through. Okay, so I hope those sort of phrases help you understand it conceptually or more intuitively. Okay, I like the first two the best. So what is existence? What is this resolution of the paradox? It's the unstable fulcrum, which is tipping over but never falls, right? It's the cliff edge falling away into the ocean, but which always stays up. There's always some cliff edge falling into the ocean. There's never no cliff edge no longer falling, right? Okay, kind of works. All right, so we are actually going to move on the next time. There's one more thing to cover before we continue on to what would have been part 4 of the series. And this one is going to be the meaning of tautology and avoiding Gödel and set theory. That is going to be a fun one. This one wasn't too fun for me. Yeah, I mean, it's fun. It doesn't have to always be fun. But the next one, avoiding Gödel and what the meaning of tautology and what set theory means, that's going to be a really fun one. And that's going to be next. Okay, all right. Have a good day, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.